Dear friends, good evening to all friends from India, and good morning to all from this part of the world in USA. Welcome to the show, Talking Books. And today we have a very special guest with us, Rhiti, who is a dear friend to me, Rhiti Chatterjee Bose, who is a very accomplished artist and a published author and a former editor, a blogger, and what else? She wears so many hats. It is very difficult for me to introduce her in a few words, but I'm so very happy, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank Blue Pencil for making this event happen because Riti and I, people who know me, are friends. They know that we both have come together a long way, both together and also walking our own paths in our distinctive ways. So, as a writer, artist, mentor, art mentor, I would dare say Riti has worn too many hats as an activist for marginalized and underrepresented artists. And she started her journey as the founder of the blog Incredible Women of India, where I have been fortunate to know her through that forum only. Later, we co edited the best selling anthology Defined Dreams. We edited the anthology together. And we have many fond memories that went behind the creation of the book in 2015. So now it is such a pleasure and honor for me to be the editor of Riti's debut novel, The Unwanted, which has just been published in 2021. And so, my first question to Riti would be, besides your career in the arts, which has flourished phenomenally over these years, the way I have seen it, as you have nurtured your artistic persona and spread your wings in painting and also teaching your art to numerous readers, you have also forayed into the area of writing, which you have been doing for many years now, which I know. So, my question is, tell your audience how both your literary and artistic sensibilities have evolved over the years. Over to you, Riti.
First of all, thank you, Ansar of Blue Pencil, Talking Books, Lopadi, everyone who has been involved in this journey. If I have to talk about how these past few years have been, I think I have just realized how little all of us are, and we are less than a drop in an ocean of the art that exists in this world, be it writing, dance, music, painting, whatever it is. So I think I have learned to be less disappointed when things don't do well. And I have learned to be kind to myself when things don't do well and be humble about it. Um, I think that has helped me to work better. When I had a lot of stress regarding what should I do, what shouldn't I do, what's working, what's not working, my creative process was getting hampered. I let that go completely. Now I create for myself, and if it
Yes.
turns out good, it is good. If it isn't, I try better. So I think I have changed as a person. My approach has changed over the years. Initially, I used to write to please, paint to please people. I don't do that anymore. I just do it for myself. If it works, works. If it doesn't, I'll try again. So I think that's a major change that I have seen in me.
Okay. So apart from that, what are the milestones in your journey, which like I have explained very sketchily, but as the author and artist or art practitioner yourself, you can tell about the transformative changes that have
Um,
happened to you.
I think every artist, including you and so many of our friends, everybody has their personal milestones.
Hmm.
I don't really consider my work as my milestone. I consider my mental happiness, my mental health. If I'm at peace, if I'm able to laugh, if I'm able to be happy at the end of the day, those are my milestones, honestly. Other things have to just work. Everybody does that. And like I said, this is the primary thing right now in my life, that I don't think I have had any other milestones apart from the person that I used to be, who was very um, myopic, who was not looking at the greater things, and from there to seeing the
Yeah.
bigger world around me. So those are the milestones, I think.
And
That
you
is what.
remember how much I chided you into
Oh
the
my
process of writing
God,
and
I
also doing
remember.
yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and I think, like you told me very correctly that day in the cafe we were sitting in, that don't undersell yourself. Also, it's okay to
Yes.
look for happiness.
And I
Don't
was very
look
angry
for
with
love.
you for
You
doing
you
that.
were, my God, I remember that. But I clearly remember you almost literally shouting and people looking at us. Don't undersell yourself. Own what you can do. Own that. And I think that definitely helped in turning this manuscript into the
Yeah.
Unwanted, the book, the novel that came out in 2021 with
Yes.
your guidance and with a lot of help from Antara.
I'm the midwife to
So,
that book. I'm very proud to acknowledge that.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I've told everyone who has asked me. I've always said that if Lopadi didn't scold me in that cafe in that mid morning on a Tuesday mid morning,
In
I don't think this
Bhubaneswar.
book would
Yeah.
have in Bhubaneswar. I don't think this book would have seen the light of the day. It would still be in my laptop in some folder. It's been 9 years there, so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
took me
So
9 years
because
to even
the
kind of
moment we
bring up
got
the
in
courage.
touch, you remember in
Yeah,
2014, you were still the founder of IWI, Incredible Women
yeah,
of India. At
yeah,
that point of time, I got to know about the novel, and it has been so
yes,
many years. But I'm so proud of your journey. I want to reiterate that
thank
again and again, again and again, so that you know and acknowledge your self worth and work hard towards it, towards
yes,
your
ma'am,
goals.
yes.
I mean, which you are doing already. I'm very happy.
Yes.
So my next question is very it would be a very dear question to me, as you know that you have been pursuing your artworks relentlessly, and I
Hmm.
personally know that I'm very proud of your art blogs. I look forward to your Instagram posts, and I personally know that your father, Kaku,
Yeah.
Shankar Kaku, Shankar Chatterjee, he himself is a great artist of repute, besides being a well-known doctor of the community. It's a rare and killer combination, a painter and a doctor. So, your father, I personally know through your writings and the way you have talked about him, that he has been a great source of inspiration and also strength to you. So, tell us a bit about your formative years, your childhood in your father's company, and how that
Hmm.
was instrumental in shaping who you are, your persona today. And also, what life lessons did you derive from him when you decided particularly to pursue the art,
Hmm.
the arena of art?
Hmm. Um, from as far as I remember, as like if my memory goes back to when I was 5 years old, 6 years old, I don't think anybody remembers before that time. Number one, I remember Baba never kind of forced me to study, and which was very unusual back then, because every parent, even now, every parent is so worried about their kids' studies and academics and the numbers. And so he, from the from day one, from when I started going to school, he never once asked me how much marks did you get. He would always
That's so
ask me, did you have a good
exceptional.
time in
Yeah.
school? Did you
Mhm.
have a good time in school? Did you learn anything? Was it fun? And even if he would see me doing homework, he would like, স্কুলে কিছু পড়ায় না, like, don't you study in school? Why are you bringing back homework back home? Why do you need to
Amazing.
study even at home? So, which was, and I used to tell this to my friends, and all they were like, "Oh my God, you're so lucky." So there was, he taught me, this was first life lesson, that our learning is not um, shown by the degrees we hold or the marks we have. Knowledge is completely different.
Yeah.
Knowledge and learning are very different from the academic scores that people hold. I mean, I'm sure you know a lot many educated, literate, wonderful people
Yeah.
who would fail in a lot of
In their life
human areas.
skills, yes, yes.
Yeah. So that was my first lesson. Second was um, when this is a funny story. I used to go to an art school as a child,
Oh, wow.
and I was terrible at it. So one day,
Don't tell
sir
me.
asked us to sir asked us to do something from your imagination, and I couldn't imagine anything that day. So I picked up a slipper.
Mm.
There was a sandal right next to me. I picked it up. I placed it on the paper, and I traced it out, and I just drew the straps. He was very furious. Okay, how can you put a slipper on paper and you have no creativity? You'll never be an artist. You don't know anything. I came back home crying. I remember
How
still,
horrible.
and Baba never forced me to go back. He said that
Mm.
when you feel like doing it again, you do it again. No pressure. Same thing with everything in life. He has never forced me to do anything. So it was always my choice. So that was my
Mm.
second life lesson, that in life, if a person is given a choice, if he or she has the privilege of taking a choice, taking a decision, that shapes them better instead of trying to control them in what they
Yes.
should do, what they shouldn't do. So, and then finally, when I decided, I was doing art about 6, 7 years ago, and I was asking Baba, okay, should I do it professionally? What do you think? Am
Mm.
I any good at it?
That was
And
just
will
some
I be
years ago, you
successful?
said, right?
Yeah, it's about six,
Mm.
7 years ago. I
Okay.
thought of doing it professionally, not before that.
Mm. Yeah.
So Baba told me one very important thing, that um, I said, "Do you think I'll be successful?" And Baba said that success is not how much money you earn.
Yes.
Success is how many people love you.
Gosh,
So if
everybody
by
understood
doing
this
this,
basic thing.
if you think you will be able to love others and receive love, go for it.
Mm.
And I did, and it worked out. From day
Right.
one, my focus was not money. The money just happened after that because I was just focused on doing good work. So
Mm.
I think these three things have stayed for a very long time with me, and I think it will last me a lifetime. And I'll try and do the same for my kids as well, to teach them that there are bigger things in the world, and
Mm.
we are much smaller. So
That's so inspiring. Wish we could all think about life in the along the same lines and pursue our passion and our dedication towards anything whatsoever along
yes,
those lines and imbibe that philosophy. But yes, so you are really lucky to have a phenomenal father.
very lucky, very lucky.
Yeah. So we all admire and adore the work of Kaku. So now I'll take the pleasure of introducing your novel, The Unwanted. So, at which point of your life did you start penning your debut novel, The Unwanted? Because I know you have been penning stories for quite a while now.
Yes,
But this
short
novel is
stories.
a bigger project, it's a more
Yeah.
ambitious project. Tell us, your audience, a bit about your journey with the novel, and also how did you evolve as a published author and novelist in the years of its making? Because it took a long while to get into the
Mm,
publishing process along with the editing came much later when I entered
mm,
into the scene, but before that, your cumulative journey with it, and most importantly, what propelled your journey, because it
mm,
is about a woman's life, but it is so much more. It has so many multifaceted layers to it in regards to the theme of female feticide, which I have been stressing from the very first, that it has a very important theme and which is
mm,
very relevant to today's world, where these social issues should be dissented about. And
mm.
it is also a coming of age story or saga of the protagonist, a boy named Niltu. So, what do you think are the connecting threads, if any, between your own life and also the life of the two central characters, Maya and her son Niltu? So, first of all, I would like to know about the journey and then about the protagonists.
Mm. Okay. So this story first started actually as a short story only. I wrote it from the point that Maya gets married to Rakesh and she faces whatever she faces. I'll not give that away here. And then she decides to run away. So, and it was only about 3,500 words, 4,000 words. And then I was pregnant at that time, and I was expecting when I started writing this story with my first child, Raya. And I started reading up on, like most mothers do, you read up on pregnancy and you read up on other things. And I came upon few articles on infanticide and female feticide and certain things, and it kind of got to me. And that's how the story, I think, kind of started. That um, if I have a girl, would she be loved? If I have a boy, would he be accepted? And
Mm.
those, it is definitely personal, because
Mm.
I think every mother, when they are expecting a child, they go through a lot of emotion. Um, I don't think I would say that Niltu's story is entirely fictional, because
Yes.
it
Mm.
that kind of developed later on in the
Mm.
when I started writing more, then I thought, okay, maybe I should write about the son also. And slowly he also became an equally important character. That wasn't planned. It kind of happened while I was writing. Maya was always important in my head. It was
Mm.
Maya's story for me to start with. But somehow Niltu kind of took away the limelight as I kept
Yes.
writing it. And
And he's
anybody
such
who has
an
read the
adorable
book,
character with so
uh,
many shades.
anybody who has read the book
Yeah.
and has come back to me, they're always considering Niltu only as the protagonist. Maya
Yeah.
isn't. So, which is
Mm.
very funny, because when I wrote it in my head, Maya was. But that's how I guess stories are also, who reads it and how people interpret it,
Yeah.
it changes. So with Maya's, like when there's a part, you must remember that she goes through postpartum depression. I faced
Yes.
that with my after my pregnancy. I faced that
Many times
myself.
over, she went in the novel
Yeah.
because of the
So
incidents
uh,
involved.
yeah. So I think as a writer yourself, you would also know that we do take from our own life experiences
Yes.
and then we fictionalize it. Now, to
Wow. Yeah.
pinpoint
Exactly what we
what
all do. Yeah.
exactly what, I would not go into the details, but yes,
Mhm.
some things are there which I've either seen or I have been through or I witnessed in some other form or read somewhere, and they have stayed with me, which kind of went through my brain, through my hands into pen and paper. Um,
Mhm.
but I would not probably go into the details of what, why. But yes,
Yeah.
some are and some aren't drawn from real life experiences. I would say like Niltu's portion is entirely fictional. Maya's isn't. Maya's parts of it is there somewhere with me.
And I remember your journey with the book. First of all, I would like to tell the audience that the Unwanted was not the primary name, or it was, right? It
It
was,
was,
then you
yes.
changed it to something else, and then later on,
A
I
wish for the
goaded you
past.
into returning into
Yeah.
uh,
I,
like taking that title only, on zeroing
hmm,
down on that title. And even the publisher Antara Nanda, she also emphasized or
she did,
insisted.
yes,
So, can you
yes.
tell something about that? It would be very interesting to know.
Well, it's a very silly reply to this, and I'm sure you'll laugh. So when I was sending this book out, the manuscript, good few years ago, it wasn't getting accepted initially. Maybe the writing was too raw, maybe it wasn't edited properly, whatever maybe the reason. Maybe the story didn't touch chord with the publisher. Uh, I kept on thinking maybe because I named it The Unwanted, it is unwanted by the
That's too
publisher.
silly.
I know. And it's so funny because when I think back now and I see how well the book is done, so grateful to everybody who has bought the book and the love I've received over the few months, the support you guys have given me. It's been amazing. And now when I look back, it really seems silly that I wanted to change the name to anything else. I think
Yeah, I told
this
you. I told
the
you that
name
Unwanted would
you
be the
told
best
me.
name. Yeah.
This is the name. This is the name. I can't believe I thought I should name it A Wish for the Past. That would have
Yes.
been very lame.
And in my laptop, this entire file is languishing for a
Hmm.
long time now with the name A Wish for the Past. And when I look at it still now, it's so funny. I
Yeah.
wanted to share
But
this book with
yeah,
the audience. Yeah.
and so
Uh,
see, even all of us go through silly phases.
yeah, exactly. And it is only we as each other's support who like insists on a few things which
Yeah,
become
which
right
worked.
in the way.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
it was definitely the absolute right decision that you and Antara took.
Yeah. So again, this next question is again about the book because it starts with the portrayal of marriage. There's a
Hmm.
scene, entire scene laid out
Hmm.
as to how and why the marriage happened. The marriage of Maya, I mean, who
Yeah.
was initially the central character. Later, Niltu
Hmm.
came into the picture. Because of that marriage only, Niltu was a
Hmm.
byproduct of that marriage. So Maya initially was the central character, and then you placed Rakesh, her ill-tempered chauvinist, male chauvinist husband, pitted against her. So the readers then eventually know, without giving too much of the storyline, this is my one sentence analysis, that the readers eventually know that the marriage turns sour with the passage
Hmm.
of time. And
Yeah.
Maya gradually escapes the marriage. So, in your own personal life, what do you say is the role of marriage in a woman's life? And like what inspired you to draw this picture of marriage as portrayed or depicted in the novel? And how would you define the harmony and bliss which should be? I'm emphasizing on the phrase should be because that is the idealistic way of looking at it. Should be at the heart of every relationship, be it marital or otherwise, a man woman relationship. So we talk about feminism empowering women's lives a lot these days because it has become a fad. But do we see enough equal partnerships in our current times, which is devoid of prejudice and biases, which is the exact thing that comes out with your depiction of Maya's journey with her marriage? What do you want to say to our audience about that?
First of all, I'm the last person who should be giving any advice on marriage. Number
No, but
two
just your
is,
personal, your journey
yeah,
and
I
how
know, I'm just kidding.
that is centered to the
Number,
thought
I
process of
think
the novel.
the first, I will give you word answers, one word answers. First thing is choice.
Hmm.
It should be your choice. Nobody should force you to get married. If you want to get married, you get married. For both men and women or any other gender, all for all humans.
Which
It's a
happens
choice.
in this novel. Maya was forced to marry
Yes.
Rakesh. Yeah.
So whenever you're forced to do something, it's not just marriage. There is a high chance that it will not end up good. Number two is when you have the choice. The second thing is respect. Uh, a lot of things don't work out because people lack mutual respect for each other. Not just women, not just men. It's just in general. Any relationship you take, a father child relationship, friendship, even between you and me, if we didn't have respect for each other, this wouldn't work out. And
Yeah.
it's not different in a
Mm.
marriage. So unless there is mutual respect, things don't work out. Number three, in today's time, I think I would like to believe that things are changing. We are seeing more couples who have that respect for each other. They
Mm.
are at a more equal space. I think as we go back generations, it was less and less. As we are going forward, also
Mm.
now it's not. I mean, I am speaking only for, I think, the urban setting. Rural
Yes.
India is still a very different
And
story.
also the economics also has to play
Yes,
a
because
role in it. Yeah.
the road where all genders would be treated equally is
Mm.
far. The destination is still far. There is
It's
a
a
long road
utopian
to cover.
concept, I think, no matter
Yes,
how
and
much we emphasize on
yeah,
it.
and it would be um, very myopic to say that only women suffer for such patriarchal settings. Men too suffer.
Meant to
It's
suffer.
not just
And women are also
only women.
equally responsible, to
Yes, they
say
can
the
be equally
truth.
patriarchal and
It's a
horrible to
system,
men.
actually.
So
It's a
the
vicious
entire
cycle.
system is. very, but like I said, as if it is out, if it's your decision, your choice, then you bear the consequences. Okay, I chose to be with this person, so now I will see the consequences, or I'll see through it. So,
Mm.
and then of course, respect, and finally, love is important to make any relationship work. Again, not just marriage. So, choice, respect, and love. If a couple can kind of have all three of those in a relationship, I think it should work well. If not, marriage is not a life sentence. It's not,
Yeah.
if
It's
you
a
are
very
married, you'll have
pleasurable
to stay
relationship,
there.
but people make it unpleasant.
Yeah.
Certain people make it unpleasant,
Yeah. Yeah.
which
It's
is
not a
what
life
happens in
sentence.
the
You can
novel.
get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can
Do
get
you
out
have
of it. You
the
can
do you
find
have
ways
the
to
book
your own
with you?
happiness.
I'm sorry, can you
I
repeat?
Yes, I do. I do have the book with me.
Yeah, can you show our audience, please?
Mm.
Yeah. This is the cover, and the cover has been done by you. It's so beautiful.
Yes, I think I was most excited about the cover.
Yeah. With the, you
I was
just
very
show it
excited
one more
because
time.
other things so you guys were taking care of because I'd already
Yeah.
written the book. This was
Yes,
my only
yes.
job left. So I was very excited about
Just
painting
just
something, and
show
I
the
was like,
painting up front. Can you just hold it
oh,
so that no yeah, in the central. Yeah, in the center. Yeah. So this is a tree with its roots and the way you have formed it with the mandala
yeah,
art. It's so spectacular. I loved
thank
it. When
you.
it came to me, my heart jumped in joy. Oh my God, what a
Hmm.
beautiful cover. And I like these artistic covers more. I love this because, like people create covers with like graphic tools and everything. Nowadays, you have so many options, but hand drawn covers are my personal favorites. And I have, like, in case of my books, also, I have chosen hand drawn covers,
Yes,
which
you do. I
appeal,
have seen that. Yes,
appeal myself more. Yeah.
yes.
Now, I would like to question you about a very important and a very dear project of both of us. You know what, right? Define
Hmm.
Dreams, which was our baby together.
Yeah.
So, you have been an editor, co editor of that book, which was your previous stint. Define Dreams. Do
Hmm.
you, like, by chance, have this book with you? Define
No, I
Dreams.
don't have it. I don't.
I
It's in
have it,
my
but it's
library. I don't have
downstairs
it.
and I have to bring, and we'll lose
Same.
time
I
in the
had the
process.
other.
But it was a beautiful book, wasn't it? And we are so proud of
Yeah.
it till to this day.
Till today, and
It's
we made
been
so many friends
6 years.
through Defined Dreams.
Yeah.
So many
A
people we
community
made
of women,
friends
an
with.
entire
Yes, our
like
community of
community of
women.
women was
Yeah.
created with that book. And we had both emphasized on the simple, yet you always used to tell me at that time, because I was emphasizing on the woman empowerment angle of the book, but you said that you always emphasized on the fact that these should be stories of everyday women, narratives, multifaceted narratives of everyday women whom we all witness in our everyday lives. But what made the book remarkable was that those narratives of women were strong, remarkable, because there was a sheer force of dissent in the narratives. There was resistance of the parochial norms, which is at the center of our civilization. So, would you say that your novel, The Unwanted, it's the same power of the narrative which lies in the inherent strength of woman? And what are her vulnerabilities? Like, what is the combination of the strength and vulnerability at the same time, which makes the narrative challenging? Considering, like, both
Mm,
these books, if they are pitted together, what is your take on it?
like Defined Dreams had amazing stories, and some of them were actually taken from real life
Real life,
inspirational women.
yes.
And yeah, they were real life women where the stories were fictionalized.
Yeah.
Um, that was entirely about women empowerment and how wonderful and how strong a woman can be. Through Unwanted, I did the exact opposite. I showed
Mhm.
Maya as a very flawed character.
Yeah.
I showed her as somebody who was constantly making the wrong choices, doing the wrong things, taking the wrong steps. She could have done so many things differently. I'm sure as a reader, when you're reading, you're happy for her at some parts that yes, she is taking this step, but then her behavior with her son, how she dealt with things later on, She is
Yeah, I was
extremely
seething
flawed.
in anger at certain points while
Yes.
editing it.
And
Yeah,
I
so
wanted to show this, that women too, like we, there is this biggest problem in our society is either a woman is a goddess or she is a slut. There is no in between. I
yeah,
wanted to put Maya in between.
which is the
Somebody who
greatest.
is good at heart,
Mm,
somebody who is struggling but very flawed, and somebody who's, that's how we all are. We all have flaws. We are, none of us are perfect. And it's not just Maya. I think all humans are like that. We have some
mm.
good parts in us and we have some bad parts in us. And sometimes our grays come out, sometimes our light comes out. So with Maya, I wanted to show the exact like if it makes sense to you, Defined Dreams
Mm.
showed a very different angle to women
Yeah.
empowerment, of power everyday woman can have. And
Mm.
Unwanted kind of showed that even though she is going through harshness in life, there is no reason that she should turn unkind, because
Yes.
it's always possible to be kind. And the moment we let ourselves be bitter about our lives around us is when our life, that is why she never gets to be happy until she lets go of the bitterness.
Yeah.
She's still unhappy till
It's
a
all
very long
released in
time.
the end. Yeah.
Yes. So
Hmm.
that was my angle when I was writing Maya's character, because I think I went through a similar cycle of understanding. Until that acceptance comes and you don't let go of bitterness, you don't really grow as a person.
Mm.
So um, that's that's the angle I was going for with Maya. Quite opposite to Defined Dreams, yet showing
Yeah.
her as a powerful character, a woman who can kind of live her life, yet keeping keep making mistakes over and over
Yeah, keep making
and certain
mistakes.
things. Yeah.
That is at the core of the novel, I think. But
Yes.
here, I would like to say also, I would like to add that Niltu becomes a perfect corollary to Maya in
Yes.
becoming her opposite. Like he is
Yes.
reflecting what she should not do, and he is
Yes.
all that she could not do in life. So
Or
Niltu
could
has
not be
also
in life.
his own share of
Yes.
vulnerabilities, but at the heart
Yes.
of his character lies this resilience that,
Hmm.
in spite of the roots of his existence being a very gray area, he's coping with life with his strength, isn't it?
Like I was
So,
telling you, no, Niltu's character happened much later. Like
hmm,
there was only the boy initially in the short story. There was no grown-up Niltu in the story.
hmm,
So writing Maya came very easily to me because I, as a woman, have lived a woman's life in India,
yeah,
abroad. So I've seen a bit of things. I've been to rural parts, so I know how things happen. But when I was writing Niltu, I was constantly unsure how to write a character of a man because I have
hmm,
not lived a man's life. And like with many male authors who write female characters, dare I say, quite badly. I was very
yeah,
afraid that I was quite afraid that I would sketch a man who doesn't really relate to a regular guy who doesn't who.
yeah.
But I
It's
hope
very
I have
different,
done.
unique.
It is
Yeah.
very difficult to write
Hmm.
characters that you have not lived. So
Hmm.
you are writing from your imagination. You're thinking, कि, "Acha, maybe this guy will be thinking like this. Maybe he'll react like that." So even for Rakesh, for Niltu, whatever I've written, it is out of. I struggled. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way, because I was constantly aware. Okay, maybe I'm making um, trying too hard to make them relatable to people. But I don't know if I've managed to sketch
You have
those
managed it
characters.
very well because Rakesh's
Yes, I think
character
I'm
is
I'm very,
typically a byproduct of the society. Like,
yeah,
I have seen
yeah.
many men like that. They have their good sides also, but their
Yeah.
chauvinism, which comes through in their
Hmm.
behavior, the way they carry out their actions,
And
it's
then there
very
are very
palpable and
wonderful
real.
gentlemen like Niltu as well.
Yeah,
So
definitely there are. So you have
that,
shown both sides of men together.
yeah,
Rakesh and Niltu pitted alongside each other. They come out with their own strengths and vulnerabilities and show the different
yeah.
facets of
But
society
it
in their
was hard.
unique ways.
It was hard
Yeah,
writing Niltu.
it
It
was.
didn't.
Yeah,
I just hope that
I
it
can
reads
understand.
natural. It doesn't seem that she has struggled with Niltu.
Yeah, it comes
I
out
think Niltu
effortlessly.
and I grew up together over the years.
That's a
Maya was
nice
always
way
the
of
mother
putting it.
there. But Niltu
Yeah.
and I grew up together over the years. I changed Niltu bit by bit over the years.
Okay. So now your role as a storyteller. I'm very curious to know who are your inspiration, like your literary role models, especially in fiction writing, because you do fiction writing a lot. You do write some poetry, which I've read from time to time. But nowadays, since you have been primarily introduced to the world as a fiction writer, how would you say like these literary personas they shaped your consciousness as a fiction writer? And do you remember any favorite quote by a legendary author that has stayed with you throughout your life?
Um, my initial introduction to books was in Bengali. So I was
Same
very
with me.
fortunate to read Ashapurna Devi, Mahashweta Devi,
Yeah.
Suchitra Bhattacharya, Bani Boshu, and so and legendary female writers they are. Everybody knows that.
Mm.
And how the simplicity in their writing is what blew me away every time. And maybe it's my mother tongue, that's why it seems
Yeah.
simple. Maybe to an outsider it might not seem so simple. But I have always looked up to this women, this powerful women of Bengali literature. Then slowly, as I got introduced through school to world literature, and then
Mm.
I studied more and I read more classics. But I think overall, it's these four women, these four one names that I just mentioned, especially Ashapurna Devi,
Mm.
is
She's
my
my
God,
icon as
so
well.
inspiring.
Yeah.
I don't think there are any Bengali woman who has read Ashapurna Devi and cannot worship her as an
Yeah,
icon.
very much
She
so.
is
Because
just,
she represents so many aspects of
yeah,
this, not only literature but also the socio-political condition of those times.
correct. And yet, in a manner that you will not realize that while you're reading the book, the moment you finish and close it, and you'll go, oh, that's what she meant. So
Yeah,
it's just so subtle throughout. It's
very subtle.
beautiful, very
Yeah, it's
subtle,
not very
very
moving.
beautiful.
It shapes our persona unconsciously or
Yeah.
consciously.
But
So, any
if you
favorite
ask
quote?
me for a favorite quote, I always, I was very young and I read this book called The Importance of Being Honest by Oscar
Hmm.
Wilde. It was very
Yeah.
funny, hilarious, sarcastic, witty, and that was my first exposure to sarcasm. So I fell in love with Oscar Wilde. So then I started going through more of his work. I read Lady Windermere's Fan, but I wasn't a very I'm not very big fan of that book. But there's a quote
Hmm.
in that book. There's a line that all of us are in gutters, but some of us are looking at stars. That line
Hmm.
stayed with.
Such
Uh,
lines.
so
Isn't it
yeah, so I
so
think this
relevant
too.
even today?
So yes, that
Yeah,
we are all in trouble. We are all somewhat unhappy, especially in this pandemic times. Everybody is going through something. But even
exactly.
then, there are some
For such
people
a
who are
long
still
time
looking at
now.
the stars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think this line is something I always like to remember. It's not exceptionally deep or exceptionally long. It's very much like I am, simple and precise. So yeah, that would be my line.
Great.
Hmm.
So let's come to your artistic life now. Now that you are a founder of Art Isana, a very
Yeah.
alluring name, which actually is a combination of both your children's name, right?
Yes, Ahana and
Ahana and
Ishan.
Ishan. And the artistic enterprise that you started just before the COVID pandemic hit the world, it's phenomenal the way it has grown. And I personally know that through Artisana because I have been to Bhubaneswar for a workshop, and we have
Yes.
many, both have many fond memories of that. And before that time, and also since that time, I know that you're focusing on your projects with healing with art and
Hmm.
providing counseling through the therapy that art provides and giving specialized classes on different painting platforms. And also, as an art curator, I would like to tell the audience that you manage this online forum, Prakriti,
Hmm.
sanskriya.org, which is dedicated to the arts. And
Hmm.
how did you start both these enterprises? And because I know that somewhere along the line, I know your journey that as an artist, as a writer, you have had this lonesome journey, and most of your creations, like other artists, they are born of out of pain. But at the same time, you have accomplished significant strides as an educator, and then you forayed into the artistic space, and writing has happened all along the way. So would you say your
Yeah.
journey has been defined by pain and by solitude also, and also a bit about artisana?
Um, Pain and solitude, if anything, were more barriers to me. It did not help me create better. I
Hmm.
think when I started finding peace, I started creating better. I know a lot of people, I will not make it light by saying like to decorate pain with fancy words.
Hmm.
Um, but I think that romanticizing pain can be very harsh on the artist itself, because if you are going through heartbreak or some other trouble in life, and if you had the courage to write it down or to paint it, to make it light by romanticizing it is not fair.
Hmm.
So I try not to do that. I stay away from that as much as I can, because for me, pain or barriers are very personal.
Hmm.
I will talk about them maybe, but I try not to think of them as my moving forward kind of push kind of thing.
Hmm.
Uh, Prakriti, like you mentioned, it was to all Aryaman. Aryaman Chetas Pandey, he's a wonderful guy. He is amazing.
He's
He
based
has
in
shifted from
Bhubaneswar, right?
Bhubaneswar.
Yeah.
He's shifted from Bhubaneswar recently. He one day said, "Ki Riti di, this is you're doing this," and I was like, "No, no, no, mere se nahi hoga." Like, no, no, you are doing this. You're going to write about different art forms for Prakriti, and this is final. So he wouldn't take no for an answer. So there was no choice over there. So Prakriti happened like that only. So I have no credit there. It's entirely Aryaman.
And it's still
But
running,
with
right?
no, we have not published articles in quite a while now. The
Okay.
website is going through some changes, I think. They're upgrading or whatever. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'll write soon again. Uh, with Artisana, it happened because um, the unwanted happened because of you. Artisana happened because of Indrani and Paulomi. I was
Oh,
visiting
okay.
Indrani
I know both of them.
at her
Yeah.
home. Yes, you do. I was
Mhm.
visiting Indrani at both of their home, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, this,
Yeah.
that. I don't know what to do. And then Indrani scolded me for 45 minutes in a very exact same manner like you did with Unwanted. And Paulomi also scolded me, saying that
See, you have lucky
if
charms in
you
your life.
don't
You're
do
so
this,
lucky.
yes, yes. I basically, it seems like if I get scolded, I do good things. So he বকা না খেলে ভালো কাজ বেরোয় না. So
একটু
I
বকা
think
মাঝে মাঝে ভালো তাহলে।
huh. So I think they kind of scolded me so much, saying that just give it a try. Go back home,
হুম,
try, put up your paintings for sale. What's the worst that could happen? People will not buy. So I think that's how it
হুম।
started. Both good things started with a good dose of scolding. And I'm so glad and I'm so grateful to all of you who have scolded me along my life. There is another person who used to scold me a lot, that is Pritha. You also know Pritha Lal. She used to
Yeah, yeah.
scold me a
Preetha
lot
is a good
on
friend
DM.
of mine in USA. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there are so many people who kind of encouraged me. I'm joking when I say scolded. It's probably just pure love and encouragement that you all had
Yeah,
for
I
me.
bet. Yeah.
Yes. So that's how, because they could, now I know why they were so insistent. Now, why you were so insistent that I
Because
should
I
do this.
wanted
Now
to
I
bring
know.
out the best from you, because I knew all
Yeah.
along that you are capable
So
of doing so much
Artisana
more.
happened like that.
Yeah.
So, and then the pandemic hit, and obviously
Yeah.
we couldn't do classes. So I had to shift online. I had to change everything. But yes,
Mm.
now I think I am at a stage where I'm very grateful that I took that step. I'm very grateful that I took the step of creating Unwanted, Artisana, all the things, because these experiences have made me who I am right now. So, very thankful for all of you guys who have encouraged me in very strong words to go ahead and do this.
And I want to
So,
add here that you had the metal in you. It's not only our encouragement, it's a combination of many different factors, I know, which I believe. Because you have been a very strong character in your own right, also. Because you had the strength in you, you have been able to flourish. That's my belief as well. We might have been catalysts in some way, but you had this with you all along. So again, another very favorite question of mine, because we both belong to the same hometown, Barakpur.
Director.
Yeah, which is in the outskirts of Kolkata for our uninitiated viewers or audience.
Hmm.
And now, for many years, you have made Bhubaneswar your home. In the way I
I
have
have.
adopted the various cities in USA that I have lived. So, how have these two cities side by side shaped your persona? What do you consciously think of both these muses, both these places? Do you think they are your muses in some way? Because I have seen in the novel Unwanted, you have used both Barakpur and Bhubaneswar as the
Mhm.
backdrop of your novel. And also your stories, your blogs, I have seen that both these
Hmm.
towns, both these cities are ubiquitous in their presence. So I'm curious to know about your philosophy about these spaces, these physical spaces, geographies, which how do you process that as an artist and a writer?
In one sentence, Barakpur gave me roots and
Mhm.
Bhubaneswar gave me wings.
Wow, so nice to put it this way. And they are
I
both,
think
they are your
there is
muses.
nothing more I can say than this one line.
Wow.
Barakpur gave the foundation or the root of who I am, and then Bhubaneswar gave me the courage, the wings to fly and achieve what I was supposed to be. I don't think if I'd stayed in Barakpur, I would have become this person. I don't think
Yeah,
if I
same
was
for me.
born in
Yes.
Bhubaneswar and raised
Yeah.
here, I would not be able to do this. So both are very dear to me.
Yeah.
And people who have not visited Bhubaneswar or Barakpur, please go visit both very beautiful places.
Both very beautiful. Bhubaneswar is so beautiful. I want to go
Yes,
back and
even
somewhere
Barakpur is
along the
also
line,
so
I want to
beautiful
have
by the
some root of
Bhubaneswar.
mine there. So beautiful, so green, so spacious.
It's very beautiful, yes.
I keep telling my husband.
I, did you notice one similarity between Barakpur and Bhubaneswar, Lopadi? It has that the army cantonment area of Barakpur and the
Yes.
Bhubaneswar stuff. It's very
Yeah.
similar. I think that's
It's
why I
so
feel so
similar.
much at
Yes.
home
Yes.
over here.
You're so
It's very
right.
similar. Those big
Very
trees
similar.
and the nice
The way the
metal road.
structure and the landscape and
Yes,
everything.
and the Mahanadi river over here, over
Yeah.
River
And
Ganga
over
over
there, the
there.
Ganga.
There,
Yeah.
yeah. So there are
Quite
very
parallel to
like
each
I
other. Yeah.
find it very yeah they are quite similar. The
Yeah.
people are very welcoming, warm.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
coming to the Bhubaneswar, it would be my also my delight to share, because you and me, both of us know that I've spent a very memorable time in Bhubaneswar at Kitab Shala, of which you were a co-founder along with Santwana.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
Kitabshala is like, due to the pandemic, the Kitabshala has suffered the onslaught of the
Hmm.
pandemic. So do you like want to share something about like this space which you could provide local artists, writers, and people of Bhubaneswar, and how you hope to turn back to that space, and like what are your thoughts about it?
So initially, Santwana and I wanted to open a free library for all,
Hmm.
and we did it out of our pockets. And
Hmm.
we thought we might get some funding, we might get some help, but that didn't happen. And the pandemic was already
In
spreading
full
through
bloom.
China, and then it was only we started in December, and the December 2019, and the pandemic hit in March 2020. So just 4 months.
Just four
In that
months.
4 months, we had so many beautiful people, including you, visiting us, doing
It was
workshops.
such a
We had
joy,
so many
and I was so
poetry.
looking
It was
forward to my other events,
yeah,
but
and so many people
unfortunately,
came forward, donated books, and
hmm,
everything was going so wonderfully. But to run a free library out of your pocket in a rented place, we both realized that
hmm,
it was possible without funding. And
Without funding, yeah.
yes, so we
And
had to take
COVID
a very
played a
tough
major
decision.
picture there, no?
Yes,
In,
yes. Small places like ours have suffered the most. So we shifted to a smaller place. We tried to still run it for another 6 months in a smaller space
Mhm.
where we had to give less rent. We could not. Lockdowns started happening. People and lockdowns were happening. So
It
people
was so
wouldn't visit,
unfortunate,
and
yeah.
it's very
I mean, the
unfortunate. So
timing of
now
it all.
we have all the books stocked up in Santwana's living room right now. And one day we hope, I mean, we are still unsure of, because library is one thing. You can, like art class, I can take online. How do you take the
Yeah.
library online unless you
No,
digitize
it's
the
not
entire
possible.
thing?
It's
And
not
we do not have
viable
the resources
as
to
an option.
digitize an entire library either.
Hmm.
So maybe one day when the things get slightly better and we get some kind of funding, we would like to open Kitab Shala definitely again. We have met so many wonderful people there. We have had so many poetry meets, open mics, workshops. One was taken by you on memoir writing.
Yeah.
So
It's such a fond
then
memory.
it was supposed to be free for underprivileged children. We were supposed to give free classes in the evenings. None of that could take place. So
Hmm.
fingers crossed, one day
I'm
we will be
sure
back.
one day it will happen, and it will happen very
Yeah.
soon. Mark my words.
Thank you. I
Definitely, like
comment
something
to that.
positive will come out of it, because there is so much of passion and so much of goodwill, not
Mm.
only of you and Santwana, but there's an entire community of people in Bhubaneswar who have supported this. So things will definitely turn
Yes.
around. This much I believe.
Numerous people have been so supportive.
Numerous,
It's
yeah,
still
yeah. We'll wait and see.
mm,
Things will turn around definitely. So, as an artist, how do you see creative art, like painting, say, for example, as a medium of, we all know that we can descend through writing, but as an artist, what do you think is the role of the creative arts as a medium of gender and caste and class sensitization? Especially because today's social media, Facebook, Instagram, all these play a huge part in it. What do you want to say about that?
it's a powerful medium, of course, but it is the artist's choice if they want to take that road or not. Because unfortunately, right now, expressing your opinion or saying something has become quite
A
tricky,
tool
as you
for
know,
trolling.
without going into details. Yes. So I think it is definitely a powerful medium, but like I said, if your focus is like if you have a kind of an idea what you want to portray through your work, do it without worrying about how it is going to be received.
Hmm.
I um, uh, paint what comes to my mind. It could be about, I do a lot of pieces on mental health issues,
Yeah.
not so much on, I used to do a lot on women as well. So related to that particular gender.
You have an
Then
entire
I had done,
series, as I remember.
yes. Then I
Yeah.
have done, because I'm an avid supporter of the LGBTQIA community, I have done
Hmm.
art based on that. But at the end, I cannot paint because I want to be an activist. It has to be
No,
an
yeah.
organic process,
Yeah,
you know.
very much so. Yeah.
I don't want to paint something just for the sake of looking like I'm pro this,
Yeah, yeah,
pro
yeah.
that.
I can
I am
understand
a
those feelings.
feminist. I'm an ally.
Same goes for
No,
my writing. Yeah.
yes, you create.
It's,
If it becomes a feminist piece, excellent. If it becomes
yeah.
an LGBTQIA supporting piece, excellent. But your
Not
aim
just for
shouldn't
the
be I
sake of,
want to be an
yeah.
activist, so I will do this.
Hmm.
That then I don't think it works. Then it shows
Yeah.
the lack of depth will show in that case.
Yeah. Definitely.
So yes, it is a
Definitely so.
powerful
Yeah.
tool, but do not, to any artist around, do not create with the mindset that I have to prove a point. The point
Hmm.
will
Yeah.
come within, अपने से ही आएगा, अपने अंदर से ही
It's
आएगा.
art
It
for
will come
art's
within
sake.
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
And if
yes,
something greater emerges out of it, then it is
exactly,
excellent. Otherwise, it's
excellent.
just a piece of art which you create from your own artistic consciousness.
Correct. That's what
Yeah.
I was going to.
So Santosh Didi is there. Hi, Santosh Didi. I was wondering if she was there for us. Santosh Didi asks, did you have any apprehensions while delineating the characters? I think she's talking about the unwanted. Do you want to
Hmm.
give an answer, Riti? And how do you tackle them? How did you tackle them? Is what Santosh Didi is questioning.
Like I said, my main apprehension was while I was writing uh, for Niltu and Rakesh, the male characters, because I've not lived their life. And how I tackled them is over the years. It took me a long time to kind of come at peace with what I was writing and if I was happy with how they have turned out. So
Hmm.
we kept writing, rewriting, and until it seemed correct. I kept writing over and over with Lopadi's guidance. Of course, she told me to change a few places. She asked me to look into certain things, how to portray certain areas. So anytime I write, I always find my main apprehensions are while writing about the male characters. Other than that, um, nothing as such. Only that part.
Lovely. Yeah, and
Thank you,
the
Santosh ji.
evolution of yours has shown in the way the novel has developed
No,
in its
Santoshi, there are
closure.
no short stories, collection of short stories in the pipeline. I'm just too busy right now with the art and the classes and everything. Someday I will
But
write again, someday, I promise.
but let me add this bit. You are a wonderful essayist. The essay which you have in the collection of personal essays and memoirs, which I have recently edited, the body of memories, and your
Hmm.
piece was named Shundari, which was this which came from this experience of your childhood of watching a vulture who took shelter in your
Yes,
house. Such an
yes,
exceptional piece. You should write more nonfiction, I think, because you have so many
I
rich
will.
experiences. Another question
Shivani is
I must take
writing.
here
I will
from
take
Shivani
it.
Salil. I was totally invested in Niltu and kept on worrying where you will take him. I'm surprised to hear that he wasn't on your mind in the original draft. What do you want to say here?
Hi, Shivani. Yes, Niltu. I think that is why Niltu comes across so vulnerable, Shivani, because I was vulnerable writing him. He is me in the book. I was going through an identity crisis myself on how to deal with Niltu, and it kind of came through in the character. I think that is why he's so adorable. He's so vulnerable in the book. He's unsure of so many things. He's searching for his own identity. So I think that unsureness that I was experiencing as a writer kind of came through with Niltu. And then, of course, it was fine tuned over the years.
Hmm.
I hope
Which makes him so
that makes
real
sense.
too.
Yeah.
Another question, like we are coming to the closure of the program,
Mm,
but before that, I have more questions. It's again about your blogging with art, because I have
mm,
noticed you have written about many underrepresented regional art forms and
mm.
also some regional artists, for example, tribal artists, tribal art forms. Do you think that such like activism or blogging with art can go a long way in transforming society through the tool that social media is?
Through blogging, through writing,
Yes.
no, it
No,
can't.
through
We
featuring
have
those
no,
artists.
no, it won't. What it
Hmm.
can do is create a very minimum level of awareness.
Oh,
Other
okay.
than that, other than that, you have to go down to the grassroots level, work with the tribal artists,
Hmm.
facilitate their work, bring their work to the urban market. That would
Hmm.
help.
Yeah.
And it would also help if urban artists stopped selling rural art as their own original art forms. So
Hmm.
um, there are so many other art forms that urban artists can create. So do not take away that from the rural artists. It's not good to do so. Even if you are somebody who is extremely good in forms like say Varli, Madhubani, fine. If you want to sell, even then it is fine. but at least try and facilitate other rural artists, support their work, make sure people know about these art forms. Ethics is what will get us far. Ethics is
Hmm.
very important. Loyalty to the art is very important. So I don't think, no, in art, writing will not take us, like I said, it will only probably create awareness in 5% of people.
Hmm.
But the other 95 needs to
You
see
need
what's
to go
happening
to
in
the
the villages.
grassroots and work with them.
Ekdam.
Yeah.
So unless we can create that, unless we can go down to the villages, we can. There is a village called Raghurajpur in Odisha, which is full of artists. It's an artist village entirely. Um,
Hmm.
Paramita is writing
So
something.
yeah,
Yeah.
Paromita
So,
has. Hi, Paromita. So
hi,
glad that you
Paramita.
are here. Paromita says, "Search for our true self and consequent struggle is an eternal struggle for us, all
All of
like
us.
Niltu. I think
Mm.
that made his character so relatable, at least for me. Such a
Yes,
wonderful analysis.
yes,
Yeah,
Paramita.
yeah,
Thank
and
you.
it's
So,
the fact that Niltu is so relatable makes
hmm,
him not only a central character but also the like the protagonist at the core of the
hmm,
novel with all
hmm,
his vulnerabilities, and pitted against Maya, it makes a whole kaleidoscope of emotions which is so
hmm,
real and palpable at the same time. So that to me
yes.
is the
So,
crux of my understanding of the novel.
yeah. So I'll
So
just
my last
finish what I was saying before. So it's just, um, if you are an artist, if you're a writer, excellent, write about the art forms, make people aware. But if you're an artist and working artist in India, help the rural artist. Being an urban artist, you have the facility of Instagram, you have got Facebook, you have got so much more
yeah,
digital support
but they don't have access to those
facilitated.
tools.
They
Yeah.
don't have access to that. And I was talking about that village. In every work you see will be stunning. So my plan is not just to write about them. My plan is to kind of do a little bit more about it. And unless I have got a better sketched out plan, I will not talk about it. But it will be far more grassroots level than writing
Hmm.
about it.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
definitely you will be able to successfully do that once the pandemic is
Thank
over.
you.
I'm
Fingers
hopeful.
crossed. I have so many plans.
Yeah, definitely. God is with you. You will succeed. My last question: what is the legacy that Rhiti Chatterjee Bose, the author, blogger, artist, art practitioner, and mentor, wants to leave for her children through her art and writing? We know that you are a practitioner of art for healing and mental emotional tranquility. So, do you want to leave any message for people who have gone through trying times in their personal lives and yet for their art keeps them alive? Do you have any message for them and also
Yes,
for your children?
for everybody, I think just be kind to yourself. We are so self-critical. We are so self-judgmental. We are our worst enemies at the time. We are
Mm.
the ones who stops ourselves from doing great things. Like I was at one point of time. Unless you
Yeah,
scolded me that day, I wouldn't have
yeah,
gone
you
forward. I
were.
wasn't kind to myself. I was being
Mhm.
very harsh to myself, thinking I cannot write. This book cannot
Yeah,
happen.
we had so
You had
many
to show me the mirror.
conversations
You had to
at
show
that
me the
time.
mirror
Yeah.
to make me believe that I had to be kind to myself. I had to
Mhm.
kind of understand myself. And that is what I would want Raya, you to kind of remember, the legacy of kindness and love. They are very powerful. Be
Yeah,
kind to yourself, love yourself, and be kind to others and love others. And this is a extremely powerful tool. And for anybody who is struggling right now because of the pandemic, you've seen so much loss around you, just be kind, breathe.
yeah.
Things do get better. Things do get better. Just do your work, do what you're good at,
Mhm.
keep your head straight high up, keep your ethics correct.
Yeah,
Things will fall in place. It takes time, nothing happens overnight.
Yeah.
You will not find any
Hmm.
artist in this
Hmm.
world who became an overnight success. And overnight
Exactly.
success also has 20 years of work behind.
Yeah.
So to become that
It's true
overnight
for
success, that
every
person has
field, for
struggled
that
for
matter.
everywhere. So
Hmm.
there is no such thing as overnight success. So if you're struggling right now, have faith, be kind, things will happen. It will take time, but it will happen.
Thank you so much for such insightful answers and for
Thank you, Lopaji,
taking.
for asking me so many difficult questions. My God. Like, I was feeling that I'm back in my master's class and I have to
Oh
give an
God,
exam
no.
paper.
I can't believe you found the questions so difficult,
Oh my
because
God. I
I
am
wanted to
always
bring out all the
intimidated by
facets of your
questions.
persona, because you have so many uh, aspects hidden inside you. I just wanted you to bring out
Very
with
kind
them.
of you. You're
Yeah.
too sweet to me.
Thank you. So, are there any more questions or?
No, I don't think there are any.
Okay. So,
I'm
at the
looking at.
end, I would like to again extend my heartful thanks. Like, both of us would want to extend our gratitude to Blue Pencil for hosting this event so beautifully, Antarananda, who is
Thank
arranging
you,
the technical
Nantara.
part of it.
You're an
And do you
angel.
want to say a few, just a last closing line, Riti, to Antara, who is managing this
Yes,
event so
Nantara, you're an
perfectly?
angel.
Yeah, she's truly so. Yeah,
Thank you for everything. Thank you so much, Lopadi, as well, and everybody else. Shantana, Indrani, Polomi, Ma, Baba, everyone who has kind of believed in me that I could do things. So thank you all. Thank you for being there for me. Tanushri Ghosh for buying my first piece of art. You made me an artist lady. So thank you for that. Shivani, Rashi for the support. Piyusha, there are so many people. Piyusha, Vandana. So there, I think when I am standing in the front, I have so much love from everyone from everywhere. So I feel very blessed. And Antara, I will treat you to wonderful food. Please come to Bhubaneswar. I owe you a
yeah.
treat for the unwanted. And
And what about
Lopadi,
me? I also want to. We want a
no,
success
no, no, no,
party
no,
for
no.
the unwanted.
For you, one meal will not suffice. For you, I will have to buy 3 course dinner for a week
I
long
want to
3 course
have
dinner
homemade
kind of
food by
thing.
you, because you are such a
Ekdam,
great
pakka.
cook.
That I
সেই
am. This I
কাঁচকলার
will take
কোফতা
credit
মনে
for.
আছে আমার.
This I will take credit for. Yes, I am a
Yeah,
good cook.
yeah. Okay,
Thank you,
thank you
Loka.
so
This is
much for
seriously.
the
Thank you for
audience who
everything.
joined
Thank you
in.
for this beautiful evening.
Thank you so much, and I would be looking forward to yet another session of talking books very soon, hopefully. Thank you, Antara, once again.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.